Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for joining me on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, new user-generated content ecosystems, and many more things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. First and foremost, a big thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who really and truly make this podcast possible. Without your continuous and very generous monthly donations, I would not be able to make these episodes week in and week out. So a big thanks to everyone who is helping that happen. And please, everyone else, check out the same awesome people in the description below and check out their ventures. Now, this is episode 287 and it's about the newly established or establishing user-generated content ecosystem of Battlefield. Battlefield, of course, is a long-standing FPS multiplayer franchise, which is now expecting its Battlefield 6 game to come out in October of this year. However, at the same time, it is also creating its Battlefield portal, which will allow players to create, share, and play, of course, custom-made maps, but also modes and experiences that are all using tools that are created, and this is a really interesting part, in the Godot game engine. The same set of ideas was introduced previously in Battlefield 2042 in a sense, but not as a fully fledged and fully meshed out idea. Instead, it is something that has been in the works for some time, and it seems that the portal is now ready to take its next chapter. In it, players will be able to basically create something really similar to Fortnite Creative. So you'll have your tools and your system of better said set of systems that will allow you to create your own games in the Battlefield setup. These games can be anything, but not just first-person shooters. They can be obstacle courses, they can be kind of multiplayer experiences that are not combat-based, and many more elements where you get the ability to use all of the Battlefield elements and turn them into your basically games inside of games. At the same time, you will be able to share these experiences. You can even expect players to have a system of progression, of XP experience and progression, which will kind of allow players to embed those experiences that you make in their own personal journey in Battlefield. And of course, everything will be on server, so you'll have basically a live service game or games that players will be able to engage with. So it's pretty much a standard user-generated content system like Fortnite Creative, like Roblox Studios, and many other tools that are presently being used. Battlefield and EA clearly see that there is a big opportunity in UGC, and that is very much true. Of course, it's hard to say how much this experience will be popular because all of its and all of the potential of the Battlefield portal is more or less presently riding on the success of Battlefield 6. However, thanks to its immense experience of destroying environments that is presently kind of on fire on social media from people who are playing it in some pre-release form, it seems that Battlefield will do pretty good or even great, and the same will then usher in the Battlefield portal as well, allowing more people to try it out, share it, and kind of invite people to do the same. Establishing a UGC space or process around UGC that is continuous, you need to have continuous updates, continuous upgrades, is a definitely daunting task for developers and publishers. So EA has a lot riding on this, and it's an open question how successful it will be. However, what is not an open question is the fact that UGC is clearly something that many, if not all, big gaming companies see as the future, or at least one of the aspects of the future. Should you start learning Battlefield Portal and its Godot tools? I'm not sure, probably not immediately, but the initial success in this year of the same game should kind of give you or act as a bellwether to give you some hint of its success in the coming 2026. There will be, if the game is successful, many initiatives of EA and other co-developers, DICE, whoever is working on the portal, to kind of bring creators into the fold. How fast and how quick and how effective that process will be, we can't say for sure, but there will be incentives. So I would say that the smart move would be to kind of consider getting into the ecosystem at the start of 2026. If the game, the original game, is successful, if it's very successful, you could even start thinking about it as early as, let's say, November or December of this year, and gradually start moving into the same space. If it doesn't find a lot of success, which is also a possibility, waiting for the same game to expand should take place well into 2026. Otherwise, you basically risk learning the tools and not being able to put them to use. Of course, unless you want to learn Godot, in which case it's a win-win whenever you choose to do so. So pretty interesting space, pretty interesting possibility, especially if you're a creator or game developer or game designer who has a bit more free time. Battlefield Portal is for sure something that you should check out. And that's all for this episode. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for listening. I would love to hear what you think about Battlefield 6 and Battlefield Portal, of course. And like always, please check out different means of you supporting me, either through Patreon, either through my channel memberships, or my books on Amazon, which you check it out. All of them in the link in the description below, so please do so. Otherwise, the cheapest, easiest, fastest way to support me, just subscribe to my channel and be here for my new clips. That's all for me. My name is Ivica. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you in precisely 7 days from now. Until then, goodbye.